Aerotine International. It is a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on a next generation of radar detectors that have both huge military and civilian applications. Now, right now, John, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John...
Did you catch it? Two subtle, masterful uses of urgency. Now, here's the question. Are you using both urgency and scarcity in your sales letters and closes? If not, you're losing money hand over fist. Stop that. I'm John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back, and this is my video on the two sales multipliers, scarcity and urgency, and how you can tell the difference. There is a very important difference, and you need to be using both whenever you close. And this is true if you're closing in person or if you're closing online. So if you're an in-person salesperson, then you definitely want to watch this. Or if you're a copywriter or marketer, you definitely want to watch this. And if you are a copywriter looking for tips, tactics, techniques. If you're an online marketer just wanting to sell more stuff, this video is for you. So let's dive into the training right now. So let's define our terms as we always do. And in these two definitions, I'm using processes rather than elements. In other words, the process of urgency, the process of scarcity, because as copywriters or marketers, we need to be thinking in terms of processes, of getting the customer to engage in something rather than just tools or words that we use. Urgency is the process of evoking an overwhelming need or desire in your prospect to purchase quickly, today, right now. Scarcity is the process of evoking an overwhelming fear that unless action is taken immediately, something will be lost due to a limit on something such as a bonus, the special, a number of products sold, and so on. Now, it's easy to get these confused because scarcity does evoke a sense of urgency, but urgency should be leveraged and used separate and apart from scarcity. You need to know how to do both. Let's take a look at some urgency copy first. What I'm going to do is break down some of the copy in that little pattern interrupt intro I used from the movie Wolf of Wall Street, where Leo DiCaprio, who's playing my friend Jordan Belfort's character, Jordan Belfort, good name, huh? He's playing Jordan, and he does this brilliant Jordan-esque sales pitch on a phone, selling some poor guy some dime stock back in the 80s. But check out, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not, time out. I am not suggesting you do something like that. I am not suggesting that urgency or scarcity or anything I teach be used for ill-gotten gain. I'm merely a fan of the movie because I was a part of it in kind of a cool way. I'll tell you that story one day. I'm a friend of Jordan's, and I do understand that you can use psychology and persuasion for bad reasons and for really good reasons. We like to use them for really good reasons. So I'm just using this as a fun teaching tool. I hope that you're cool with that. So now let's look at this script. I'm going to break down a couple of lines from the script. And remember when I said, hey, did you catch the two little subtle but super powerful senses of urgency that Leo used in that script? Check it out. I'm going to read it to you. See if you pick it up the second time around. It's a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on a next generation of radar detectors that have both huge military and civilian applications. Now, right now, John, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John, our analysts indicate it will go a heck of a lot higher than that. Oh man, that is just killer urgency and sales copy. If you didn't catch it, I will point it out. The first line of urgency that Leo/Jordan uses is right here, awaiting imminent patent approval. Okay, any day now, they're going to get a patent on this stuff, and anyone that knows anything about stocks knows that once the patent is gotten, boom, the stock's going to take off like a rocket. He doesn't even have to say the stock's going to take off like a rocket if you don't get in right now, right? Well, that would be urgency in the way that a normal person would do it, but Jordan was a masterful salesperson, so he just says that. It's awaiting imminent approval. And he builds this up, and it's really hilarious in the movie. He shows this shack. It's really just some shack in somebody's backyard, right? Next generation of radar detectors. They have this huge, they can be used in the government. They can be used in the civilian applications, etc. Now, listen to the NLP here. This is just sheer NLP. Now, right now, John. Okay, John, he's using John, somebody else's name, not mine. But right now, John, right now, what is it? That's NLP. That is bringing someone right into the present moment. Beautifully, perfectly done in the script. John, right now, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John, the name over and over again, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. So where's the second degree of urgency? it's going to go a heck of a lot higher than 10 cents a share, which means he would pay a heck of a lot more for it. So 2 senses of urgency masterfully done in that script. Now, let's look at some not so subtle examples of urgency that you can use in your copy. Some are going to be really obvious, some not so obvious, and I'll break them down. Let's go. Any moment now, we intend to raise our prices back up to normal price, so you need to act now. Now, that's pretty straightforward, right? Sort of. Any moment now, we intend to raise our prices back up to blank. Okay, so your intention is not necessarily going to happen. At any moment, this could happen. Now, if you want to be safe and you don't know for sure if you'll ever raise your prices, most people will. Any moment, it could be 10 years from now, right? At any moment now, what I would say is, at any moment now, we could raise our prices back up to normal. Or at any moment now, we could raise our prices. Just simply say that. Okay, that is going to evoke urgency. People want to buy at the lowest price possible. Let's look at another example. Unless you act today, you may find yourself in far worse condition in no time flat. This is the day you've been waiting for, the day where it can all change for you only if you act now. Boy, we're really ratcheting up the urgency here, but listen to how I'm doing it. It has nothing to do with price. So if you will never change your price, and let's say that you're selling a weight loss book, or you're selling, or in my case, you're selling copywriting training that can help people make more money in these kind of times that we're living in, this is really powerful. You could find yourself in far worse conditions. So this assumes that you've outlined the conditions prior in the sales letter, that you've talked to them about, here's where you are now, and you made their condition worse, as I've explained that you need to do, or at least that they're very well aware of their current condition. But by saying that it's going to get worse unless you act now is indeed urgency. That is urgency defined. And it's done in a way that is, first of all, it's very truthful. That's going to be true of anything. If any product is worthy of helping people out of a situation, their life is going to get worse unless they act on it now. And you don't have to mess with prices or anything like that. So there's no false urgency being used here. So let's look at one more. This Black Friday sale ends Tuesday, so act now. That's the easiest one of the lot, right? So Black Friday, in fact, we always have a Black Friday sale, or usually have a Black Friday sale, and it usually extends into Cyber Monday and then ends on Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's obvious, okay? That's an obvious sense of urgency. You got to act before that clock hits midnight, okay? That's a really easy one to do. You should definitely always do that. Now, before I dive into what scarcity is and how you can use it and what the difference is between scarcity and urgency, let me ask you a question. Have I earned your like? Have I earned your respect? Have I earned your endless admiration? If any of those are true, then smash that like button. Do me a favor and do more than slash it. Like, beat the living crap out of it. Make it like your redheaded stepchild. Unless you have a redheaded stepchild, then by all means, don't make it like that at all. And God bless you. But I do want you to hit that like button. I do want you to smash that bell for new notifications, because they're new. They're brand new. They come off the presses, hot and new, when a new video drops. New video, new notifications. You want to be notified, right? Of course you do. Leave me a comment below and sub if you haven't. Now let's get on with it. Now, like I said, scarcity, when real, does evoke a sense of urgency. Well, I got to act now. There's something scarce that's going on. However, these are two completely different psychological and sales tactics. Scarcity must involve the limitation of something. Now, that can mean like the end of a sale. So there's a limited time of the sale that's going to end on Tuesday. That's a combination of urgency and scarcity, but scarcity used in its purest form is limitation on the number of items being sold or something else revolving around the offer. We're going to break that down here in a moment. First, I need to tell you that, well, scarcity is a very powerful tool. It's also probably the most abused tool of all online. You'll see false scarcity everywhere, like, oh, we're only going to sell 1,000 copies of this ebook, when you know they could sell 500 million copies and they'd be perfectly happy to do that. Look, I've fallen guilty to false scarcity because I got lazy and because I couldn't think of anything. And I want to help you over that because I try not to do that anymore today. I've got better ideas. I'm going to share some of them with you today. But first, let me give you the best example of real scarcity I've ever seen. The copywriter Gary Benson, who is not only a genuinely great guy, but a brilliant copywriter. Now, I'm not going to get the numbers right because it's been like 10 years ago when he did this, but he sold his one and only copywriting book. People were waiting years for this book, and it's thick. It's like that thick, right? And I think he sold it, if I remember correctly, it was something outrageous. Sold it for like $1,000 or $5,000. It was something like expensive, but he only sold 500 of them. Now, I might get the numbers off, but it was something like a $500,000 offer. He ended up with a $500,000 offer from this. It sold out in days, okay? And there was only 500 of these things made available to the public. Now, that is about as scarce as you can get. The world's greatest copywriter, or one of them for sure, is selling his only copywriting book, and he's never going to make any more, and he's only printing 500 of them. You don't get more scarce. If you can do that and you've got the kahunas to do it, pull it off. Now, another great example of scarcity is what we use in our Facebook mini groups. In case you don't know, a mini group is a group that opens and closes within 5 to 15 days, and all the training on a specific topic is done in this little mini group. The trick of the mini group is to limit the number of people that you allow to attend. So in our case, it's usually 500. So we say when we hit 500 members, we shut the group down. That's scarcity in it defined. That's awesome. So people are much more prone to go over there and sign up for this group. The other thing that we do is we say the training inside this little mini group is going to be taken offline forever or sold, even worse for some people, at the end of the group. So you can either attend live or it's gone. So those are scarcity tactics that are really good, are really simple, and they can really work. But let's talk about more practical scarcity. Now, the easiest thing to do is to simply limit the number of things that you're selling. So you're going to sell X number of things until Y. I'm going to sell 500 copies of the book and I'm going to shut it down on Tuesday. That's as scarce as you can get. But very few people want to do that or even can do that because, first of all, you don't want to limit yourself on the number of sales that you're going to make. And second of all, you just don't have a limited supply run if it's a digital book. So here's how I pull this off now, and you can totally get by with this. This is awesome without ever having to worry about limiting the number of sales you make. What you want to do is create a super bonus, like a really valuable bonus. I usually do things like, hey, I'm going to do an onboarding call live with my new clients, but that is only going to be offered to the first 100 people who buy today. After that, I'm taking it offline. I don't know when I'm putting it back. Well, that's awesome. So I'll take it offline. I'll put it back in a month or two or whatever because it does help sales, but I'll take a really big spike in sales and take a little bit less sales because people just don't know it's there. So I don't make that fewer sales and having it not be there. But when it's there, you definitely see a little bit of a spike. And I'll take that, take it away, and then put it back in. That really does work. The second idea that I have for you is if you sell a physical product, you can offer free shipping until Tuesday. Okay, so that's scarcity in a sense. It's also urgency. So it's combining the two, but you're giving them free shipping until a certain date, and then it's gone. And the third and final tip I have, and this one's kind of ninja, it's hard to pull off, but it's cool if you can do it, and that is to limit a customer service bonus. So you can say, listen, I will give you 24/7 email support. I'll give the first 100 people 24/7 email support. So the 100 people that buy today, they get 24/7 support. Now, most people, here's the gray hat area of that. Most people give 24/7 email support anyway, but if you do this, I highly advise you to segregate those people and bump them up in the notch so they get firsthand support, and you can only do it for 100. That's a really good way to get people to buy. There's also setting on the fence because a lot of people are setting on the fence because they're not sure about the support of the product or service. So give that some thought. I got one more tip for you. I want you to look down below and like, share, sub, and smash that bell for notifications when my new videos drop. And until next time, I am John Benson, and I'm always here to help make you unignorable.